Every now and then, I'll get a message from some console peasant somebody who who plays the game on a console, which is legitimate. It's legitimate. Anyway, they'll say something like, "I can't believe that you didn't put a warning or a disclaimer at the beginning of the video saying this video uses mods." And sometimes they'll be really upset with me. You know, they'll say things like, "You're a horrible person," or "You should die," or "Maybe you should get a gangrenous canker sore," or "Maybe you should, get some sort of horrible venereal disease," or "Maybe you should walk alone at night so that your parents can get murdered by the Joker," or something. And I'll sit there going, okay, that's classy. And they're upset, because I showed them how to do something in a video game. And they couldn't do that thing because they don't use mods, because they play on the console. And the console does not support modding yet, so they get upset with me. And I just have a really hard time relating with that kind of mindset. Because if I were to see somebody else enjoying something, I wouldn't want them to stop enjoying it just because I don't have it. Like when I see somebody walking around and they've got a brand new Mercedes. I guess not walking around. So they're driving around and they've got a brand new Mercedes, and I don't have a brand new Mercedes. But when I see that, I don't sit there and go, "Man, those jerks. They have a brand new Mercedes and I don't have it. They should no longer have that Mercedes. And for them to continue to have it means that they're even more jerkier jerks." And see, that logic doesn't really work, right? Like, if I wanted the Mercedes, I would go out of my way to earn it. I would do what was necessary to save the money, earn the money, save the money, so that someday I would have a Mercedes that I bought with money that I earned from work that I did. So I can't really relate to that. And this whole console versus PC thing is so alien to me because I am a long-time gamer. I've been gaming ever since I was a child. Most of you have been gaming all of your lives. You'll all remember Crash Bandicoot and Final Fantasy VII when it came out, and how it was such a huge deal, and you'll remember the original Sonic the Hedgehog, and you'll remember what it was like to walk into the mall and see those big black Nintendo stands where they would be showing off Super Mario Brothers, and you would go, "Wow, look at this amazing new technology." And those were all consoles. I have very fond memories of consoles. I used to play video games with my brother, and we would play in the basement of our house. At Christmas time, we would have big barrels full of popcorn and we'd play Sonic the Hedgehog. I wouldn't play Sonic the Hedgehog. My brother would, because he was always good at video games. I was not. So I would entertain myself by watching him play, because he was the one who was good at video games. But I have fond memories of that from my childhood. There's a place for console gaming, but there's also a place for PC gaming. And one is not better than the other. Now, yes, if you were to talk about graphics, then inarguably, PCs have the potential to be better. Now, this doesn't mean that every PC is better, of course. Some people can't afford a really nice gaming PC. And that's okay. That doesn't make them an inferior gamer. That doesn't make them an inferior player. It just means that they don't have enough money. And you know what? Some people don't have enough money, and that's okay. It's okay to not have enough money for a really expensive, high-quality gaming PC. But of course, the argument from the PC Master Race is that you can make a high-quality gaming PC without spending more than you would spend on a console. Therefore, anyone who buys a console is making an ill-informed purchase decision, which means that they're fools. Okay. I mean, that may very well be true, that if they were to purchase a console, it might be an uninformed purchase decision unless they actually really want a console. And that's a legitimate thing, too, because consoles are social gaming platforms. You don't sit down at a PC with people in the room with you and entertain them, right? Yes, you'll play online with friends, and sometimes you'll chat with friends, but it's not an in-person social gaming experience the way console gaming is. With console gaming, you can have friends over to your house, you can crack open a few beers, you can open Street Fighter and, kill each other, or Mortal Kombat, or what are the games they play these days? I don't even know. And those are social games, right? You're having fun with your friends, you're destroying your girlfriend in a game of what is it? Double Trouble? What's that game with the anime chicks running around and the motion physics, boobs, and all that? I don't even know. Double Trouble with the fighting? Whatever. So, those are social games. You don't get that same experience on the PC. There is a social aspect to PC gaming. Don't get me wrong. Of course, you can play Overwatch and form real friendships. You can play World of Warcraft and join guilds and form real friendships. That's all true. I'm just conveying the point that there's a different feel to console gaming. There's a different experience to console gaming. And while it may be an inferior product from simply a graphics perspective, there is a place for console gaming, right? So to sit there and just mock console gamers repeatedly, it's just unkind. That's all it is. It's just unkind. And it's really unnecessary. And it goes the other way, too. Because if you're a console player and you see a PC player playing a video game and he has amazing graphics... Wait a minute, where did my... There it is. And he's got amazing graphics, and he uploads a video of his amazing gameplay experience. If you were to sit there and just cuss him out and say, what a horrible person you are, and you misled me, and yada, 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 that's not very kind, and it's not a very classy thing to do, and it makes you look small. And I think this is going back... This just goes to like a coarsening of public dialogue that's happening in our culture. Now, I do realize that there are many different cultures, and many of you watching don't share the same culture that I do. But many of us do share Western civilization. Many of us speak English. We don't all speak English, but many of us do. And many of us have Judeo-Christian principles. Not all of us, of course, but many of us do. And many of us have a shared cultural history. That's just the way that it is for many of you watching this video right now. Not that that's a good or bad thing. I'm just pointing out a reality. And there used to be a time when even when you disagreed with a person, you still showed that person respect. I don't remember who it was who penned the quote, but he said, I disagree with you with every fiber of my being, but I'll defend your right to say what you're saying. And, that's a principle that I really strongly believe in. There are many people out there who believe completely opposite things to what I believe, but I don't go to their places of business and protest them to try to bully them into silence. I don't go to their rallies and protest them or, become violent against them to try and silence them and to shut them down, even though I very strongly disagree with the way they believe. And I don't do those things because I do believe in freedom of speech. I believe that it's important, and you can't say that you believe in freedom of speech unless you actually allow other people to disagree with you without, getting too upset about it. It's the sort of social justice warrior mentality. Many of us who are, fairly normal, we are kind of turned off by the whole social justice warrior thing. These SJWs will go online and create a Tumblr blog and, get all up in people's faces and say things like, "You must only use gender-neutral pronouns. How dare you say him and her? That is offensive." And, it's those kind of people that they have a fundamental lack of disrespect for another person's freedom to be different from them. And I think that's really important, and it's something that we need to remember. Previous generations knew that very well. Maybe it's just because they were closer to the founding of this nation, or they were closer to people who gave their lives to defend this nation, and so it was a little bit more valuable to them. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. But previous generations respected other people a little bit more than today's generations do. Today, you can be a social justice warrior, and you can sit there and say, I believe this way, And if you don't believe this way, you're Hitler. And you know what? No, I am not Hitler. That person is not Hitler. I mean, just because they want to build a wall doesn't mean that they're Hitler. You know, just because they want to redistribute wealth doesn't mean that they're Hitler. Even though I have strong opinions on both of those topics, I'm not going to go to that person and go, oh, you're Hitler. I mean, come on. I mean, it's like saying somebody's a racist these days. I mean, racism is a real thing. And it used to be that you could accuse somebody of being a racist as a mere matter of fact because they were doing something racist. But now people use the slander racist, oh, you're a racist, just for everything, absolutely everything, to the point where it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just like the de facto thing. You go on Facebook and people are calling each other racists left and right just because they disagree with you, not because they're actually racist, not because they're actually proposing racist thoughts and tendencies. They disagree with you about whether or not you should wear that cutoff T-shirt to church, and then then you go, oh, well, you disagree with the way that I choose to present my body, so therefore you're a racist. And it's like, come on, do we really have to treat each other this way? And so I just want to tell you this, console players and PC Master Race guys. I empathize with both of you. I play on the PC. I agree with many of the arguments from the PC Master Race guys, so I know where you're coming from. I'm with you. And console players, I've grew up on consoles. My brother and I have fond childhood memories playing console games together. I don't play console games today, but my wife does. She plays, what's that Elder Scrolls game, that console game. She loves it. She has a great time. The kids can watch her, and it's a fun social activity. So I've got nothing against people who choose to play social games on consoles. There's nothing wrong with that. But just think about social justice warriors the next time you decide to go on a crusade against somebody who plays a PC because you don't like PCs, or who plays on a console just because you don't like consoles. We all see those social justice warriors on Tumblr. We all see those Tumblrina posts on Facebook, and we get turned off by them because they exhibit a fundamental lack of disrespect. They're trying to bully you by shaming you, or they're trying to harm you by calling you a racist, and they're using these underhanded tactics to just try and silence you. And that's the thing that's offensive about the whole social justice warrior frame of mind, is they don't really want open dialogue. They just, if you disagree with me, you will be silenced, and you will stop talking, because you are a racist, because I'm a good person, and I will not be disagreed with. You know, that's their whole thing. But when you're a console player and you start getting all uppity because of mods, you know, you have more in common with a social justice warrior at that moment in time than you do with just a regular gamer. You know, if you're a PC Master Race guy and you see somebody playing on a console and you walk in and go, console peasant! I mean, yeah, if you're playing and if you're just having a fun time with friends and they know you and they don't care and you guys are joking, then of course that's fine. But if you're really doing it to try to hurt somebody because you're a jerk, then I mean, you really don't have much difference with your frame of mind than a social justice warrior. So I just really want there to be more civility between people. It used to be that you could disagree with somebody and not be enemies. You know, I remember reading stories about how Democrats and Republicans would go to the floor of the House and have these loud arguments, and they would disagree with each other, and they'd go out for beers afterwards, you know, because it's all right. And sometimes the Democrats would vote Republican, and sometimes the Republicans would vote Democratic. I recently saw this infographic that took a look at the Senate's votes, or how they've changed over time. And it used to be that Democrats would routinely vote for Republican causes, and Republicans would routinely vote for Democratic causes. But over the past 15, 20 years, that has ceased to be the case. Now, if you're Republican, you vote for only Republican causes. And if you're a Democrat, you vote for only Democratic causes. It's very polarized. And then if you don't believe the way I believe politically, well, then you're a Nazi. Nazi! And this lack of public civility, is, of course, is in every aspect of our culture. We can't sit here and say, oh, well, those Senate people are just real jerks. You know, I hate the Senate. I hate politics. I'm not going to get involved in politics because they're all a bunch of crooks. Okay, well, yeah, but many of the same ills that people in the Senate suffer from are the same ills that people on YouTube suffer from when they leave a nasty YouTube comment talking about, "You're using mods? How dare you use mods? You're ruining my pristine gaming experience. Why do you even play the game if you use mods? It's not even fun." Well, look, buddy, it may not be fun for you to play the game with mods, but guess what? You are not the only one playing. Just because you see somebody doing something that you wouldn't do doesn't mean they need to stop doing it, especially if it's not illegal or immoral. It's neither illegal nor immoral to play with mods, so why do you care? Why do you care? It's none of your business. If you don't like seeing videos with people using mods, then don't watch those videos. It's just basic. This is the key to just being a normal, basic human being, right? Don't order people around. Don't insist that they do things the way you would do them. Show people some fundamental respect. Allow them to be different from you. Difference is the great spice of life. Is that the quote? No, it's variety. Variety is the spice of life. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm getting so caught up in this little diatribe that I'm just laying random things. Here I was getting all nice and putting things out here. And now over here I'm just like, blot. Let's just throw it down there. All right, that's my cue. I'm going to stop talking right now and get back to building this settlement. Anyway, so there you go. PC versus console. Just lighten up, guys. It's a video game. We're gamers. We have more in common than we have differences. We really do. We're gamers. Let's just stop it all. All right? All right. Thank you.